What is happening, everyone? Hello, 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 hello. Jesus. What is going on? Welcome back to another stream, guys. How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing? What's up? What's up? Let's check something. Pretty sure it's working. Yep, it is working. I see. Blew my ears off. More YouTube? YouTube within YouTube. It's like Inception. Alright, we'll take a look after. What's going on, Cappy? What's up, Miguel? Enrique? How you guys doing? What's up? What's up? I just came back from Wolverine. And I'm wearing a Naruto shirt. The Pain Gang. Pain? I got this shirt like randomly. I was walking a store and I found it. And it's like the Pain. The whole Pain Gang. Like, whoa, I need to get this. And it was on sale for like $10 or something. They're like, okay, I'm definitely getting that. For sure. Well. What a day. What a day, man. Wolverine. Deadpool. It feels like yesterday. I'm thinking like that one, like, what, announced or something? Now it's like, it's out? That's crazy. But first of all, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. How's everybody doing? Huh? You're watching it next week? Not opening weekend? Well, you better be careful of all the spoilers then. You better be careful of all the spoilers, because by next week, you're going to get spoiled the hell out. I'm telling you this much. Because no way you're going to be able to stay away from spoilers. But we are going to be discussing spoilers today, but like later on. So if at that point I will say it, I will let you know that I'm going into spoilers. Don't worry. But as far as like, yeah, we'll discuss the movie, what I thought about it, my thoughts on it. As I said, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when there are spoilers. I'm going to be like reviewing it. You can ask questions, make it like, like personable or whatever you want to say. So you can ask me questions. I'll mention all the things I can, minus the spoilers. But then later on, after the main review is done, I'll let you know when the spoilers are, and then I'll let you know what I thought about it. Hello, Game On. Welcome. And by the way, guys, if you're just joining in, remember to drop a like. Let's see if we can the stream. We do good. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes at least. Let's try to get to that. All right. I'll make it more interesting. Let me actually at least pull up a trailer of it. I'll mute it so we don't get like copyrighted. What is it called? Deadpool? Unless you change your name. I don't recognize the name. All right. We'll do we'll mute it so you guys can kind of. It's been a while, Game On. Not too sure when the last time you joined, but welcome to the stream. Welcome back if you are returning. Just seeing like if more people join in, so then I don't have to go through all the review again and all that. But oh boy, it was some craziness in there. I tell you that. Tell you that much. All right, let's get going. What did I think of Deadpool? I keep calling it Wolverine and Deadpool. That's how much love the Wolverine character. But man, it was a good movie. It really was. Actually, like, it was different than what I thought it would be, and the trailers kind of misled in a way that it's hard to explain, but whatever you felt it's gonna happen, it's different. There is negative in there. There's some negative, but like overall though, I think it's a pretty darn good movie. It's very grounded, so it's not like crazy spectacle. It's more like grounded action, like the first Deadpool. Now, if you watch the first two Deadpool, it's right there. It's right there. It's like in terms of humor, the gore. Oh my god, the gore. All of that, the comedy, the Deadpool comedy, it's all there. Ryan Reynolds at Deadpool is absolutely A+. Same thing with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And this time, he's more Wolverine, I think, than he ever has been Wolverine. And if that excites you, then I think you're going to have fun. He's more Wolverine than he was, I think, in previous ones. Because it's like the character they brought in, the kind of Wolverine they brought in was, oh boy. It was good. Like these two, and like the way they kind of like play off each other in dialogue, and Deadpool is like the crazy one, like the childish, and Wolverine is like the more mature one and all that. But it works. So that part, as far as like them goes and their character goes, it was really well done. It was really well done in terms of the characters are still intact. It's still them. Comedy was great. I mean, at that no point, like I actually understood like 90% of the references. Some references, obviously, like fourth wall breaking. It's like pop culture stuff. So maybe I've not heard of it, or sometimes it's like so much happening or so much dialogue that you're like, okay, what is going on? But in terms of like most of it, it's like there's jabs at Disney. There are jabs at literally every, like the whole like Marvel since Endgame. Like there's fourth wall breaking to the point. It's insane. It's insane to the point like they didn't break the fourth wall. At some point it felt like they went out of the wall and just literally said what everyone was thinking. That's why it's so relatable. Because when Deadpool opens his mouth and says stuff, you're like, yeah, that is true. Exactly. You know what? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, Disney, let that slide. So at somewhere, I was like, maybe Disney is being forced to make those kind of movies. They don't want to, but they're being forced to, because if they let that slide, they can just, hide behind it and say, oh, that's just a movie. We're breaking the fourth wall. Bro, there's literally like woke stuff, all the woke stuff that we see. There's literally a jab at it, like at that directly. And people in the theater, I saw some people laugh and some people like, whoa. Like, it was like, whoa. Like, I really went back, I'm like, holy smoke. They really, really, really said that? Like, are you kidding me? Dude, we're talking about the movie right now. Then we'll do our other stuff, and then basically we can, I'll let you know what we do. But we do our usual. So, yeah, like it was like the worry I had about it, all the worries I had that they're gonna find a way to have like, what the Marvel stuff that happens recently or in the recent movies that, with all the stuff that's been happening, they're gonna just find a way to install all of it in there. It's not. It's not. It's not. And I was so surprised that they were able to not do that. And I'm like, wow. Because it's up. So if the credits, actually part of the credits for the story writing is Ryan Reynolds. Like he's part of the script writing. Now, this is where I was like, okay, maybe the script could have been better. Because yes, it is a good script, but I don't think it's an excellent script. Like the bad guy, or, like I'm just going to say it like that, like the villain could have been better. There's not much they did with the villain. The villain is just there for the sake of it. And the story, I feel like, could have gone at least 30 minutes more. Because there is a story, it could have been better. It is a very personal story. That's for sure. The reason this all is happening, it's laid down very early why this is happening, what they need to do, what they need to save, and all. But it is light. It is heavy on the story, but it's also light on the story, if that makes any sense. Like, there is a lot of elements you do end up feeling like, okay, they should have done this maybe longer, and they should have done it better. There are a lot of cameos. What this movie is a love letter to the Fox X-Men movies. I'm not spoiling anything, but it really is. It's like, what it's doing is that it's taking all of that and it's kind of closing the chapter on it, on the Fox stuff. Like, in a way, it's like I shouldn't say that word, but it's basically closing the chapter. We'll go into a bit more detail, a bit more later. But yeah, so the story itself, like, it was good. It was good. The bad guy, there was so much more potential what they could have done. But the thing was that it was also like a really, really, really powerful bad guy. So it's like, or a villain. So it's like, okay, like, if they did more, will our heroes be able to go against it? So there was that to it. So the story did feel light. The ending was emotional. Like, actually emotional. And at the same time, the ending was also like, some of the elements of the ending, I think, again, it connects to more of the villain, where it could have been just a bit better, like, lay down, like some maybe flashbacks or some stuff they could have done to, like, develop the villain more, since it is actually a pretty big character in terms of what the character is and what it's connected to. The villain, it actually is pretty good. So it's like, they could have done more. The action scenes are really good, but very grounded. Extremely grounded. They're not like Endgame. It's not like flying around and stuff like that. It's extremely grounded. It's extremely like, more like, like, it's like hand to hand, sword fighting, claws, stuff like that. So it's very grounded. It's, if you've seen Logan or the Wolverine, like the Wolverine movie, it's very much like that. Or even like, if you've seen Deadpool 1 or 2, it's more like on those lines, rather than, like over the top kind of an action. There's not over the top. So it is very grounded. There's a lot more character interactions rather than just action exposition. It's like 2 hours, and there is a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of them like talking and bantering, characters just talking, a lot of dialogue, a lot of like character moments, and a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises. So as I said, story itself was great. Good to great, I would say. It did its job well, but it could have been better. It could have been better. They could have done just a bit more with the story. It is, now the people that wanted the multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange, multiverse of madness. They wanted more multiverse of madness. This has more multiverse of madness than the multiverse of madness movie. If that excites you, great. But this actually has more craziness in it in terms of like the amount of characters you see and stuff that happens, like who appears and what. It was insanity. Like every time a cameo happened, a character came in, people went like berserk. Berserk. Literally berserk. It was insane the way everybody like just went insane. It's like all these characters, like some of them were surprises. Like literally nothing was leaked on them. Like it's like, oh, he's gonna appear, he's gonna die. It's like most of them, like I did hear one that appeared in the movie and I forgot about it. And I was like, okay, then nobody ever brought it up again. I was like, okay, you forgot it. And then it actually happened. And it's like, whoa. And people went nuts. And then with Deadpool, breaking the fourth wall and saying this and that, like very, like that kind of dialogue that only Deadpool does. And there was all that, like, he's pointing at something, but, with what he's saying, but he's really not taking names, but you understand it because obviously the last 25 years, you grew up. Like, there were some jabs that broke the fourth wall and actually referred to the actor's personal life, like in real life. Like, there's stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like there was a lot of stuff. It's like that. Even like Ryan Reynolds himself, and like, oh boy, like there are like just surprises throughout. But you know what the great thing was? That it was not just cameos that appeared and then went away. And when you watch, I think you'll appreciate that because there's like a thing like, oh, that's a cameo and then that's it. All the cameos actually were part of the story. They actually made them part of the story. So it was not like, oh, that character appeared or this happened or that actor appeared or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, they just appeared for the sake of it. No, like if you know those characters, you're like, oh, okay, so they actually, whoa. Like some again, they could have done, again, as I said, some of it they could have done definitely more, but it was still surprising how integrated all the cameos were to the point they didn't feel like cameos, they actually felt part of the story. Like, they really were. It's amazing how they were able to, like, get this together. Like, I really wonder, like, at what point they were sitting and were like, okay, let's bring this. And it's real. That's why it feels like it's like the 25 or 20 years of Fox movies, like all like the X-Men and everything, all the Fox movies, like, the Marvel Fox movies, it felt like a closure to that. It felt like a closure to that. So now, going forward, they can start anew, if that makes any sense. Actually, it does make any sense what I'm saying. So overall, like, if you want to, like, give a score to this, I would give it, like, 7 to 8. It's definitely a good movie. Like, good, man. Some really think would be great. There is some stuff in there that was, like, a 11 out of 10. There was some stuff in there that was 11 out of 10. Like, just creme de la creme kind of stuff, It was that good. It did its job so good. And then there's some times, and again, that goes back to the story because like they're on this adventure. It's kind of like a buddy cop, like one angry cop and the other one is more like careless and they're kind of like that. It's that kind of movie. They're on this adventure And you're always kind of like, okay, where is this gonna go? Where is this gonna go? It's just like, I just feel like there could have been more with the bad guy. The bad guy life, because there was like the introduction of it and everything is insanely good. It's insanely good. It's insanely good. Like the way the villain is set up, you're like, whoa, where's this gonna go? So the ending, as emotional and everything it was be, it's just the story arc that the villain had in the movie. It's just like, okay, it was there, but okay. And then, yeah, some stuff is done just to please the fans. They're like, huh? Why did this happen? Okay, all right, this happened. But it's really, really cool at the same time. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'll have to read on it. I'll have to read on it. There is this very specific scene that it happens, and I'm like, I didn't understand why it's happening. It's an action scene, but it's like, okay, like these characters appear, but like, okay, but why? Why? It just disappeared for whatever, okay. But maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, it was a good, like, good cop, bad cop kind of a thing. Yeah, true. That is for sure. And yeah, overall though, it was good. It really was. Like, it was good. I think at least it touches the hype. If it doesn't go over, like some people are saying, like it breaks the hype. Like, you know, like all the hype that's there for this movie, like it's beyond that. Me personally, I don't think it's beyond the hype, but it is able to touch the hype. It's great to see Deadpool and Wolverine together done properly, right? Back in the day when we watched them in X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, like it was not done, like they had potential, but the ending, they just kind of screwed over Deadpool, and it was not done as you would have thought it would have been done, right? This though, like this was done right. Like Deadpool and Wolverine, there is a scene with both of them. Oh my god. I went with my family and I was acting like the kid. That was the funny thing. I was like jumping back and forth in my seat and I was like, holy smoke. Like what a scene. Like that's like wallpaper worthy stuff. Like it was like, oh my god. Like they really are, like even to the comic book fans, they really, really are making them happy. Okay? Like, well, this scene right here was done beautiful. These moments right there, although a lot of these characters are utilized less, they're done great because it is technically a Wolverine and Deadpool movie. So they're on their own adventure. This scene was amazing. It was done right. Like this conversation was really good. That's all I'm saying. That scene, you're gonna lose your minds when you watch this movie. You guys are gonna lose this mind on this scene. Why? I'm gonna get to that in the spoiler part of this review later on. Like this is a crazy scene. Just that. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Like these conversations were actually heartfelt. Like them talking were like, wow, they actually brought humanity in this. Wow. By the way, guys, remember to hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to that 20 like mark. It would be amazing. So please drop a like if you have not yet. All right, back to review. Like this was beautifully done. Like these conversations and like these flashbacks at some point, like they kind of happen in the movie to kind of, you know, connect everything. These things, this stuff was cool as hell. This stuff was cool as hell. Oh boy, was it cool as hell. This, you're gonna lose your mind. Y'all gonna lose your mind when that stuff happens. Because there is something in there that is scream-worthy. Scream-worthy. As the trailer shows, some of the X-Men like not the X-Men, but like the villains from the X-Men movies do make like an appearance, but they're more like cameo kind of a thing. Kind of a thing. Some maybe a bit more. The story behind this, like, it does make the Wolverine, like from the comics, like the anger Wolverine, the angry one that doesn't really care about anyone and whatsoever. That's this. Like, it does connect the backstory to what happened. If you've seen the trailers, any of the trailers, it's emotional. Now, this is where I thought maybe they should have shown what do you call? How would I say that? But like a scene, a flashback. Because they kind of teased, like Deadpool did, like, breaking the fourth wall. He kind of mentions, like, oh, are you going to wait for, like, a flashback or stuff? I wish, like, there was, like, they would have been able to, like, see more of what happened. They showed, like, bits, but I would have liked to see, like, more, an actual flashback. And this is where I'm like, maybe there is an extended cut there somewhere where the movie is, like, a 3-hour movie. I think it would have worked. Personally speaking, I do think if it was like a 2.5 hour movie, because it's like 2 hours and 7 minutes, but it's like you take credits out, so really it is like a 2-hour movie. It could have made it like 2.5 hour or longer and added those scenes to really close out the Fox chapter. Like it would have added. I think it would have helped. I think it would have helped. Probably maybe budget, probably because, the actors have to come back and all. More stuff to do, I don't know, but I do think there could have been more. Okay, I'm not really touching the spoilers right now, but as far as like more stuff they could have done, they could have more. This conversation, man, it was gut wrenching. Like you would think in a movie like this, they're not gonna be able to have like good dialogue between them two. It's just gonna be like back and forth and blah blah blah. It's not just that, man. Like this scene, you'll be like, holy smoke, Hugh Jackman can act. Like you're really like, man, he's such a great actor. Like we see him obviously as Wolverine, but man, he actually is also a really, really good actor. And like it showed in both of them, like, Deadpool, like Ryan Reynolds, it really showed how good of actors they are in this. It really did. And they did such a fantastic job in playing these characters. And you're like, oh, Deadpool, like, Wolverine's never going to be able to come back. Hugh Jackman is done. He brought it back, and he brought it back with, like, some A-plus acting. So this scene, you're going to love it. There's a lot of stuff here that's, like done. This, again, that fight could have been more. And this is like the villain. Obviously, if you've watched the trailers, there's a lot of potential and a lot of good stuff here with her in terms of like the character itself. It could have been more. It could have been more. 100% I believe like they could have just done a bit more, even just a bit more, but could have just done a bit more with the character. Because it does, at the end of the day, feel like that the villain was there, but it's like, oh, okay, the villain's there, and that's that kind of thing. Like, just to kind of have, like, a story and all. But it's not like the kind of villain, like Thanos. Like, yeah, you're, like, like Killmonger. Like, it didn't feel like that. But it did feel more like, you remember Doctor Strange 1? The first Doctor Strange movie? Mad Mikkelsen, I believe his name. I always pronounce it wrong, so if it's wrong, I'm sorry. But Mad Mikkelsen, I think his name. Him, like, remember how, like, they set it up so good, but at the end he just, like, kind of vanishes, and that's that. It does feel more in line like that. There is a good setup. There's a good story behind the character. It just, I don't think they landed the ending in terms of the character stuff, not the moment and all that, but the character itself. It just could have done so much more with it. And it's just like, yeah, I just didn't feel like they did more with it. They could have. There's a fight scene here you're gonna love it. And this obviously we reacted to last week, right? So there is more to this. So I was like, man, they spoiled it. They should not have spoiled it. What did they do? I mean, even if they didn't spoil it, like it would have been great if they didn't. But this fact they spoiled it. But there is still so much stuff that they did that you're like, man, this is like not spoiled. This is not a spoiler at all. Like, holy smoke, there's so much more there that this feels like a minuscule spoiler, right? In a trailer. Because there's so much more in it. Like, holy smoke. I could not believe some of the characters who came in and the cameos that came in. I really was like, man, they were able to really do this, eh? That's how crazy it was. This, again, the hype behind this, I understand, but again, I would have liked to see more. I would have loved to see more of that. Because the way it was like, Lady Deadpool, which, yeah, like, I mean, it's in the trailer, it's in the movie, but it's, I don't know. It depends on, like, what you were expecting from this. I do think, like, I was expecting, like, a reveal or something more to the story, but it was not as deep that I thought it would. And that, like, to me, that is a bit of a negative. Not, like, a huge negative, but I would have liked, sorry, if there was just a bit more to this. That's all I'm going to say until we get to the spoiler part. His claws looks amazing. Like, man, his claws look amazing. Which, in the past sometimes be like, CGI stuff. This scene was dope. This scene was really dope. It was like a pre-climax kind of a fight, but it was done. It was very grounded, but it was done well. This stuff here was hilarious. So yeah. So that's kind of like our, non-spoiler kind of a thing. So overall, a great film. I think there's enough enjoyable things in it that people can enjoy, have fun, no problem. Could they have done more with the story? Yes. More towards like how the villain and everything kind of ties in. They could have done more. And yeah. So that's our kind of non-spoiler segment of it. It was a pretty well like a well-made movie at a really good time. Yeah, I like to say that. It actually, what I also wanted to say, man, that for the last like couple of years, like the way the Marvel movies are going, this one does feel they're back on the right track. I mean, with that Captain America the new Brave New World trailer that came out, this one, it feels like, okay, Marvel is understanding that other stuff is not working. So they're dialing it in. They're coming back to what needs to work and what needs to work. And this one, it does feel like that they're understanding that and they're dialing it back and it's going to start working again. It at least right now, this feels like the start of like, the good Marvel days are coming back. At least like, and even they mention it a lot of times. Like there's some fourth wall breaking, that it's like there's some jabs and stuff, but which I'll talk about in the spoiler section of the review. So yeah. Oh boy. I'll pause it at that. That is a good darn picture right there. That is a good darn picture. Who wouldn't like that as a wallpaper? Come on now. Who wouldn't like that as a wallpaper? So that's that. As far as like non-spoiler, spoiler-free, whatever you want to call it, review of the movie. Now, who wants to go into some spoilers now? That's that segment coming up. That's that segment coming up. Now, there's a lot there. Not gonna lie. There's a lot there. There's a lot there that we can discuss. And, oh, yeah, there's a lot there. But that's a different universe. TikTok, Godzilla, and Kong easily solos both. Well, those are monsters. You're comparing them to like kind of like human characters. Completely different thing. All right. So, Cap, are you still there? I'm gonna have a bite of my... I need that. Okay. Now, before we get into the spoilers of it, I'm just letting you know. So if there are spoilers coming up, be aware. Okay, if you don't care, that's fine. If you want to come back to this later, watch this segment later on after you watch the movie, you're more than welcome to. It'll probably be like the next like 10, 15 minutes at least. We're going to kind of, well, depends on how fast I talk and what I remember. We're going to talk a bit of those spoilers. So, yeah. So there's that. All right, here we go. Who's ready for some spoilers? Need some hands raised or something? I know Boy doesn't care about spoilers. I know that. I don't even know if Cappy's here to kind of like hold the fort when we're spoiling everything. All right. Well, here we go. So basically, the story of all of this is that Deadpool, like, he's living his life. He actually goes in to Avengers office, and Happy, you know, Happy, the driver, you know, Tony Stark's like driver, and then he became more part of like the whole thing. He actually is like interviewing him for a job. He's like, I want to be an Avenger. And like, you're not ready yet, and all that. So that's an appearance there. So like the whole thing is that basically he's kind of living his life. He's it's been a few years. He's now a salesman since that interview. He's trying to move on, and it's like his birthday. And, you know, some of the characters are there, like, you know, his girlfriend. But now he's kind of broke up. They're not really together because he needs to find himself. And she wants him to find himself, but he really hasn't find himself. So they kind of, like, apart from each other. So at the same time on his birthday, literally, like, TVA shows up. and they bring him in. And like the whole story is kind of set up like, oh, okay, like your timeline needs to be erased completely, and to help it further, you basically have to kind of like do something for us. I won't really touch the story, because there even sometimes like I was confused. Okay, what, why? Because there is a lot of stuff, a lot of dialogue, and then basically they're like thrown in, like he's basically going around trying to find a Wolverine who can help him. And oh boy, the Wolverine cameos were amazing. And guess who showed up as a Wolverine, as part of the Wolverine cameos? Guess who? The man himself, Mr. Henry Cavill. Yes, that actually happened. And that was like one of the rumors, like what came out like a year ago or something? Something like that, like a year ago, or that's when that rumor came out, like, ooh, Henry Cavill is going to be like a variant who's going to show up. And he literally shows up. I was like, my jaw like dropped. I'm like, what? This actually happened? Like, because I completely forgot about it. So he actually shows up and he's kind of jumping through all the worlds and, you know, trying to find like a Wolverine, because the Wolverine, like, because I think it's because of that healing ability and all, you know, that they needed them both. Wolverine, the world that they connect to is the Wolverine in that world. He's dead. He's the one. They connect to that. They actually connect to that also, where, you know, the Wolverine from that world is basically dead. So they collect to Logan. They actually make part of the Logan that it's not that one, it's a different one. They made sure of that. And they brought that into the story. They actually connect the story to it, which is great. It's like a lot of these elements from different X-Men movies. And, spoiler again, Fantastic Four movies, Blade, Elektra, Daredevil stuff, like those Fox movies. Man, they all connected. And that's what I was saying, is that this is a closure on the Fox superhero stuff. Like all the Blade and everything, they closed it out. Everybody who was like, man, this needs to return, that needs to return, the closure, this, Blade, you know, the Wesley Snipes Blade movies. X-23 return, which we saw. And if you guys remember that Channing Tatum was supposed to play a Gambit. And, you know, when Disney bought Fox, it kind of like fell through. He actually came back as Gambit. He was Gambit in this movie. He was like part of like they did a strike force, like Deadpool kind of a 4, where there's like a whole scene where they go together as a battle. And that was like freaking epic. Blade, Wesley Snipes Blade shows up. Elektra from the Daredevil movies show up. This is what I'm saying. Like, they were able to connect those stories to this, because it's jumping of timelines, right? Like multiverse thing, and they're going from this to that. They're able to do that right. And that's why it's like this felt more of a multiversal movie, like a crazy multiverse movie, than the actual like Doctor Strange, which I actually enjoyed. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I did think that it could have done more. If you go watch that review, I said that in that review. This was able to do that. This is actually able to do that. And that's why it was like, it was insane. There was also another Deadpool variant with Ryan Reynolds without the mask. Like, Ryan Reynolds has his long hair, and like literally it's just Ryan Reynolds, like himself, because he likes his face too much. Him running around. There's Sabretooth from the X-Men movies shows up, but that fight though, like, again, there should have been a longer fight. It literally was like a swipe and Sabretooth is dead. That's it. That's all there was to that. So that was, I was like, okay, sometimes the cameos really work, because in Gambit, Blade, Elektra, X-23, that all of it was actually really well done. There was dialogue, there was story to it, they had banter. That was actually really, really, really well done. But then there were times like there's some cameos, like the what was her name? X-Men 2, the Lucy Liu's character. Like she came up, but she's like just in the back. Like there was no Wolverine. I expected her and Wolverine to go against each other because that would have been such a great callback to X-Men 2, but they did not. If she was just there, like in the background and maybe a new snippets here and there. So I did feel like at some point, I did feel like, okay, some of the stuff was cut to make the movie shorter. Because I do feel like there's probably a longer cut somewhere. I do feel like there's a longer cut somewhere. Just like Multiverse of Madness. If you've heard about it, people have guaranteed that there was a longer movie with more stuff in it that they did not do. It feels like here is that they feel like some fight scenes and some stuff, there definitely could have been a better, like, longer stuff that, expanded the story a bit more, gave time more to maybe to the villain side of things. Some of the characters that showed up, maybe given them more time or longer fight scenes. Also, who showed up, and they made it part of the story. And this is how crazy it was that they're actually able to connect all of it. Chris Evans. Chris Evans shows up. And guess who he's playing? If anybody can guess, I mean, heck, I don't know. Again, it depends on how long, if you're watching all these movies. But if you can guess it, that would be insane. I'll give it a few seconds. Let's see if somebody can guess it. Now that we are in the spoilers, if you can guess it or not. But I'll give a few seconds. I take a bite, and I'll let you know. No guesses? No, eh? He's playing Johnny Cash? No, not Johnny Cash. What was this? Johnny Flamon from, what's his name? Not Pyro. I just forgot the name. I had it. Forgot the name. From Fantastic Four movies, right? Johnny Starr? No, that was not Johnny Starr. The original Fantastic Four films. He was playing Human Torch. Human Torch. Remember? Human Torch from the Fantastic Four movies. He was Chris Evans, right? He actually returned as that. As Human Torch. It was like my mind was melting because people were expecting Captain America to be there. Right? Because it's Chris Evans, Captain America. So you are like, okay, you're not expecting him as his Fantastic Four character, Human Torch, to be there. Like, what? What? They're able to do that? They brought him in for that? It was insane. It was Johnny. But no, man, like they brought him in. And it like him like saying the F word in the Marvel, because Captain America was like, oh, don't say a bad word and all of that. So Chris Evans saying like all these F words and stuff in the Marvel like universe movie, it's like it felt like what? And he went back to his character. It was great to see, like it actually felt like, oh yeah, that's the Human Torch I remember from the Fantastic Four movies. Like, what? It was insane that they are actually able to do that. It was crazy they're able to do that. So Chris Evans shows up, Blade, I talked about Elektra, I talked about Henry Cavill as Wolverine, X-23, obviously we knew, Gambit, him, some of the other ones, like, oh, Who else? Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Hopefully not. So basically, like, there are all these battles and there are all these, like, cameos showing up. Lastly, what I'm going to talk about is the ending. So the great thing of the ending is that because of their good deeds and what Wolverine and Deadpool are able to do, and I am so excited for the future of Marvel. Here's why. Bro, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Deadpool, X-23, Colossus, all of these characters are actually now part of this world. So the TVA does a favor, and they are now part of this. They're actually like Hugh Jackman and Deadpool, they're living together. Oh boy. I was like, no way. The future looks so good now. Because if I think where they're going with this, it's gonna be awesome. Because they're gonna introduce, like, this literally was an introduction to the new X-Men. This literally was the introduction to the new X-Men. And my jaw, I was like, huh. Like, whoa, this is the new X-Men. So they have the X-23 there. They have Colossus there. They have, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. They have Deadpool. They have some of the other characters. I forgot their names, but they were from the other Deadpool movies. They're there. And I was like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Now, the part that I was like, so a lot of Deadpool shows up. A lot. And they fight. They have a fight with these two in this scene. Right here. This scene, they have a fight. Lady Deadpool shows up. The problem I had with Lady Deadpool is that Lady Deadpool, they were not able to do much with it. It's like, oh yeah, they showed up just because it's Lady Deadpool and all, but they didn't never show her face or who she is. So it's like that excitement of like, oh, they're going to reveal, but it was like, oh, that's just another Deadpool variant, and a lot of like 30, 40 different Deadpools show up. But that's like more like if you read the comics, you'll be like, yay, and you'll be happy. But in terms of like the story, there was like nothing there. It was just it was really like an Easter egg moment kind of a thing. But it was not like, oh my God, well, this actor is playing this. Like, it was nothing like that. They never showed the face. It was like, okay. So like, it was just there as a cool thing. So I feel like they could have done more with it. Also, the ending, right? So with that, like, villain character, they set her up. She's Charles Xavier's sister. That is no joke, man. Like, it's like, oh, okay, her brother, like Charles, when they were in the womb, I guess because of like their powers, like Charles tried to kill her with the umbilical cord, like in the tummy, like when they were like, and she's like in this void. She's stuck there with the deal with the TVA. And then, TVA kind of backfires. Like, there's a guy there who's basically set this all up. And he's really a bad guy. So it's like that story, like the villain arc at the end was like, okay, there's a great setup. And she's scary. And then it ends like she wants to just, like, all of a sudden you feel like she's good. So there is a scene where they're like, wow, she understands that she's a good person. Like, somewhere there is a good in her. And you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden, like, she's bad again and she wants to, like, just finish everything and control over everything. It's like that switcheroo. Like, she switched and then she switched back. So I'm like, it's like, okay, like, that's where I was like, okay, I don't think they thought this through. And this is what I'm going to go to the beginning. Because there's like 5 different, well, at least 4 I remember. Ryan Reynolds is part of it. Writers on this. And when there's so many writers writing the script, because it definitely went through changes. Because at one point, if you remember, back when Marvel got Fox and they wanted to do like with Deadpool, the early rumors were something else. Like the story that they're going to do. So you can tell like there was a lot of these different writers that, the story went through a lot, like some rewrites, and they adjusted a few things, and then Hugh Jackman wanted to come back play Wolverine. So now it's like a different story. So these things happen. So you can tell like, okay, the story probably was different, and they had a different idea, and then it's like it went somewhere else, and they did something else, and they didn't really. So you could sometimes tell it's still its own story. It still feels like a polished story. But as far as the villain stuff goes, I do feel like it was probably another story that they wanted to do, but then because they changed it, then it was like, okay, what should we do with it? How should we end? So at the end, basically in trying to stop her, she just blasts off. She's done. That's it. Like there's a machine that's gonna end all the timeline and da. It's gonna ruin everything. They're able to, because of their healing abilities, they're able to get through it. They're able to like not let her do that, and it's a very like there's like a Star Trek reference in there. I'm going a bit sideboard, but like man, they were going after Disney. My God, like at one point, literally, Deadpool is like, man, after Endgame, everything sucked. He literally just says that. And there's like all this like feminist and all this. There's a lot of stuff there. They actually touch on that, and they like the all the stuff that some of the Marvel movies have been doing lately. They actually touch on it, and Chris Hemsworth actually makes an appearance as like an Easter egg scene where he's actually holding Deadpool, and he's dying, not Loki is dying. It's like a variant timeline somewhere. They just joke about it and they go on. So that was another cameo I forgot to mention. That actually happened. So overall, man, like this, it's a really good movie. It could have been better in some places in terms of the story. But if you watched all the X-Men movies, if you watched the Fantastic Four, if you watched the Blade movies, it really was a love letter kind of a thing. So if you are wanting to some kind of closure to the Fantastic Four, to the Blade, Wesley Snipes movies, to the Fantastic Four, with Jessica Alba, those movies, and Deadpool himself, and the Wolverine, and the X-Men, like all that stuff, like the X-Men stuff. Like this was like love letter and a closure to all of it. So from here on, they're now part of the MCU going forward, and it's with these characters. It's X-23, Colossus in there, Wolverine, Deadpool. I'm not too sure if they want Wesley. I didn't see them in the last scene. I saw some of them, but I didn't see Blade or Elektra or Gambit. So I'm not too sure where they went. Or maybe they didn't show because they don't know if they're going to be able to bring them in or not. Maybe that's why they didn't show, just in case. But yeah, so it's like going forward, that's like the setup for X-Men. Yeah, and you can tell like this is where they're going. And that's like that new setup that they're doing. Which, look, man, overall, like this movie, I was like, okay, it's going to be able to at least touch expectations. It's Marvel. Marvel is doing all these things right now. Are they going to be able to do a good movie? Like, even if it's just good, are they going to be able to like feel like the old Marvel? And it did. It actually, after a very long time, it actually felt like, oh, this is the Marvel we remember. Of course, this is R-rated, but this is like, at least it's like, it's story focused. There's no like, all that, like the Vogue stuff that we see with the dialogues, and like it takes over the story where they're more worried about that rather than story. Like, no, it was story focused. It was character focused. It was a Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine, whichever you want to put it. It was their movie. And they stick to that. They brought in the characters with all the cameos and everything. Some fun cameos. Some they could have done more. But they stick to that. And that's what I loved. It's like, my God. Finally, there's a movie that stick to the story and did the story. Stick to the world building. Closure. And going forward, they're building this world. Going forward, they're definitely, Hugh Jackman is definitely coming back. Definitely. Because the way this ended, they're roomies. They're basically roomies. So they're definitely bringing him back. So they probably have a story now set up for Secret Wars and stuff, which were the rumors, right? 2 years ago or something, like a year, 2 years ago when they announced Secret War, rumors circulated that Hugh Jackman is going to come back. And basically, he's going to stay at least up to Secret Wars. And there's actually a joke in this at the end. Deadpool's like, man, Disney's gonna keep you until you're 90 years old. Like along those lines, he actually says his face. Like obviously, it's a lot of fourth wall breaking, so he actually says that. So you know that okay, they're gonna keep him now for like at least the next few years until like the next Avengers movie comes out and the X-Men stuff happens. So they kind of connect it all, and maybe then they'll kind of like really say goodbye to the character and then bring in a new Wolverine. Because they were trying to find a new Wolverine back when, this Deadpool was being made. And I think the idea was to bring in the new Wolverine when this movie happens as part of like the multiverse thing. But then he comes back, so now they're just going to keep it. That's what I think is going to happen now that he's back. So that was my take on everything. Yeah, man. Again, the story stuff is light, so that's why I didn't put a lot of thought in it. But as far as this, I thought like it better be discussing cameos rather than story, because the story is honestly it's a passable story, does its job, but they could have like easily done better. So that's my take on Wolverine. We kind of spent an hour on it, spoiler and non-spoiler. So yeah, that was it. So overall, I would say like 7 to 8. I'm like, some people I think will be 8, some 7, but it's definitely 7 and 8. It's not a bad movie. I heard a couple of reviews were like 4. I'm like, huh? But so I'm like, not that. It could have been done more, but like, yeah, it's a really good movie. You have fun watching these characters. Oh, and also another thing, Wolverine has the mask. He actually has the mask. The whole Wolverine suit actually happened, and I was like, oh my god. When that happened, it happened in this scene. When that happened, I was like, oh. And then you know what? There's a joke about his body, because they're like, everybody's like sexing on him. Like this movie was like way too R-rated at points. Man, oh man, the jokes and the sexual jokes, and it was like, oh god. He literally like his like thing just like, cause it's a movie at the end of the day. His other clothes stay on, but his shirts get ripped off. His suit. So it's like he has like these muscles, man. He trained for this role. He's done in the past. He did this. And there's like ladies and guys and everybody's like, and looking at, they have like close up of his abs. Even Deadpool looks at it, and it's like he looks at the screen, like to us, the audience, and looks at it again, and like, And then so I was like, oh my god, no way, man, come on. But they did that. They just went with it. They did not hold back. They really went with it, and that was like great to see, because it was like, okay, good stuff. Good on you to not be like, and man. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds probably had to fight in the producer's room or whatever room, like with Disney and, Kevin Feige, like, we need to make this happen. We need to have this dialogue. We need to have these like adult jokes. And it's like, I cannot imagine like what they had to do to make this happen, but man, they made it happen. It was, yeah, you think about those things, they're like, wow, the movie was 10 out of 10. So the movie really, I think in the story department could have been done more, but I think in all the other terms of like what they're able to do, it was able to do a lot. So 7 to 8, I think around there is like a good score to it. So yeah, that's kind of my take on Deadpool. I keep saying it Wolverine and Deadpool. Man, I love Wolverine, the character, so much. But that's kind of my take on Deadpool and Wolverine. So there you go. Oh boy, I talked a lot. Holy smoke. I had to like grab a bite of this. So I have a couple of new Deadpool trailers come out. Now we're going to start with our trailers section, part of the show. So we'll check that out. That one came out. Wow, okay. I know we have like Joker came out. The Joker trailer came out. And there's the R-rated Rebel Moon trailer came out. So we're going to check all those. I'm excited for Joker 2. Joker was a cinematic masterpiece. Not joking, man. That was such a good movie. What a movie it was, man. What a movie it was. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So I cannot wait for that movie to come out. I mean it. It was just way too good. There's a final trailer for Borderlands, but not a lot of views, so ooh. That's not good. Oh, I don't know if people are excited or not for that, but yeah. That doesn't look good for that. And then the Transformers movie trailer came out, like the animated one that's coming out, whatever. All right, so everybody had their break. You guys are excited to check out the trailers now? Yo, Ferdinand, what's going on, man? How are you? Welcome. It's been a while. It's been a few days I haven't seen you, so good to have you. How are you today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's check out this new trailers for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Life is a mystery.
Oh, this music.
Everyone must stand alone.
I am Marvel Jesus.
That's a good thing I don't give a
Come again? This time in my ears?
Deadpool and Wolverine is the cinematic event that we've all been waiting for.
Bingo.
Rated R in theaters and IMAX everywhere tomorrow.
I am going to say this, man. This has the potential to save Marvel. It really does. It really does. I'm going to say it. It has the potential. Like, the more I think about it, yeah, it has the potential to save Marvel. Like, if they stick to this, they have the potential to save Marvel. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. They have the potential to save Marvel. Let's check the other one. Why is there everything on mute?
I waited a long time for this team up. Deadpool and Wolverine. He's a hero in my world.
He ain't in mine.
It's definitely heartfelt. It's definitely heartfelt. That's right. They both deliver.
My entire world is right here in this picture, and you know how to save him.
That
Whoever
stuff
you
was
think
like,
I am,
man, yeah, they could have done so
you got
much
the
more with
wrong
that.
guy.
I keep saying that, but
You were always the wrong guy. Till you weren't.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm the Wolverine.
Rated R.
Man, oh man. Yeah, you guys should, I mean, I would say, man, like, go watch it. Honestly, go watch it. It is worth every penny. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth to see like a Marvel movie that is not like, you know, the latest Marvel stuff that we've been seeing. Like, it is definitely worth it. Like, in just that regard, it's like, feels like, man, they're back to the good old Marvel days. You know, like it's like, whoa, we're back. And that felt good. That really felt good just to see them back to the good old Marvel days. You know, just like a movie that's focused. At least know where they're going, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah. All right. Now, let's move on to some new stuff. So, Rebel Moon Director's Cut came out. So, I guess the two movies are like put together now, I think. And it's going to be like one big movie. And it's going to be Director's Cut. So, there's going to be like more violence and like how it should be. So, yeah, let's check it out. It's completely R-rated. So, yeah, viewer discretion advised. Let's check it out. I've heard great things about this trailer. That this feels like a completely different movie than what we saw.
Dig my grave.
I'm definitely gonna watch this. Whoa! What the? Okay. You can just tell from the vibe now that is different. And they should have just went ahead and released the director's cut instead of releasing what they did.
To tell this world that I died.
Hey, what's up, man? Whoa! Holy smoke! Whoa! Oh, hey, oh, what the? Whoa!
At least I die on the side of honor.
Is there still such a thing?
Holy smoke! Bro! They should have just released this in the first place, man. What the hell?
Their wrath will be my vengeance.
Bro, what? They even changed the names. It's not as the Scargiver and all that. It's like chapter 1 and chapter 2. Like, what the? Where was this? They should have just released this. Jeez, man. Like, man, that's why I'm like, what in the world? They even changed the names of the movies. Like chapter 1 and chapter 2, and it's different names. Oh my goodness. Man. No, that's the thing, right? Like, that's what they do now. It's like, oh, there's the director cut. They're going to release the PG and then the director. Like, why not just release the movie as it should be instead of doing all that? Not everything got to be Zack Snyder's Justice League situation. Not everything got to be that. Like, just release it as it should be. That's it. Like, oh man, like don't get me started on that, man. It's like I don't get it sometimes. It's like, why are you doing this? Why? Who knows? Who knows? All right. Yeah, man, like there's this trailer was absolute gold. Like let's be honest, the trailers for the other ones that came out, like the PG versions, were good. Like, let's be honest, like it was not like those were not good. Those are good trailers, but like after, we watch the movies and you're like, wait, this is the movie that could have been, and they cut all of that out. Like, there's stuff in there you're like, that was not in there. what? What is this? Like, this is a completely, like, it's adding more context, right? It's gonna, like, completely change what it will be. Not always, but, like, in this case, this is a different situation. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see. That was gold, man. Like, that, like, the stuff in there that Zack Snyder teased and talked about, like, the movie's gonna be gory and all that. Again, the movies we got were nowhere what he said is gonna be, because obviously they were, like, the edited versions of those. This now actually feels like, oh, this is what he was talking about. And it actually feels like, oh my God, there's actually a story here, actually good movies. But let's see. But that's stupid, man. I don't know why they did that. They should have released the good part, like the actual movies in the first place, without like any edits or something. It actually hurt it, because they were thinking we're gonna get more audience and then bring back, audience to get to watch the director's cut. But those movies got criticized so hard by people and critics that it was like a disaster. So it's like, okay, like, should have just released that in the first place instead of doing that. Having a separate director's cut. It should have been just Rebel Moon, and that's it. Made it a two-parter, which is fine, but not do that, what you guys did, and edit the hell out of the movie. Like, that is actually a good movie. It feels like a good movie. Obviously, it can be bad, still. Feels like a good movie. So let's see what happens, but it does feel like, actually, like, whoa, there's some story, and there's stuff happening, and there's stuff, obviously, was cut from the OG, like the PG version. So, oh boy, that makes you excited, doesn't it? That makes you excited. Did what? He's gonna buy Netflix? Well, Netflix decided to do that, but like, again, they should not have done that. That's what I'm trying to say. They should have stuck with like the original vision of what those movies were supposed to be and just released that and not edit it the way they did it. All right, but that's all we can say. Next, it's 2nd of August. They're releasing the director's cut, so we'll see what happens then, and then we'll see what happens and see how the movies are. Is it actually better than the OG or not? We'll see it then, right? So let's see. Let's wait and see. Wait and see what happens. By the way, guys, if anybody's, all the folks who are watching, I still want to say thank you all for being here. Thanks so much for being in the show, supporting the channel, supporting the stream. Appreciate it. Thank you all for the likes. We are still trying our best to get to that 20 like mark. If you have not left a like yet, please do remember to drop a like. That really helps the stream out in a big way. So please do hit the like button. Thank you very much. Thank you. And let's see if we can get to that 20. Thank you. All right. Now, Joker official trailer. Finally, I'm able to watch it. I've been like, for the last few days, I'm like, yep, dude, are you like lazy? Don't you read the title? Like, no, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't. I just reviewed the movie without seeing it, Come on, man. Seriously. All right, let's check the Joker 2 trailer.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
The trial of the century.
They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not. There's a monster.
Well, we're gonna copyright it here. With WB always copyright everything.
When I first saw Joker, when I saw you,
I don't think so. I thought I did, but I don't know how good it is.
for once
honestly.
in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's a Lady Gaga playing the Harley Quinn.
How about you, Arthur?
Do you still think you're a star?
The whole world smiles with me.
You can do anything you want.
The sun comes.
You're Joker.
Look around! Look at all these people! Leon! I will no longer allow any of you to stop your sighing. To keep me down! Be happy again. I got the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want.
Oh my God. Oh man. Well, bro, I'm like, there's a lot there. There's a lot there, man. Let's see how that goes, cause whoa. Let's see where that goes, because that's gonna be something else. It can either go this way. It can either touch the hype of the original or go completely south. Because the OG, in my opinion, the Joker movie that they did a few years ago was gold. It was that good. It was so good. It was so well done. I haven't watched it again since then because it's depressing. It is really depressing. But, like, I want to watch it, but it's just so depressing. Like, you watch it, you're like, oh my God, I already got, like, enough stress in my life. What is this? I don't want to watch this. But it's good, though. It's really good. I want to watch it, and that's the thing. It's like, really? Oh, wow. Okay, no, that's it. That's the thing. It's like everybody has their own opinion, right? And that's fine. That's how it should be. No, nothing wrong with that. If you thought it was just good, I thought it was a masterpiece. I haven't watched it since then. Again, my reason behind it is just because it affects you a lot. It does. It gets under your skin. It's just sad, man. Like how, the life breaking down. The thing was with the Joker movie that it was very personal. It was so personal. It was like him breaking down. Like life around it was like really just like, grabbing in and really turning him like into a bad person. He tried to not go there, but it just kept throwing him down. So I don't know if this is going to be as personal. That's my biggest worry, is because that movie was very personal. It felt personal. This one, though, they're going bigger. You can tell they're going bigger. Harley Quinn is coming in. The whole city is going crazy. And obviously, he's going through a trial. He's in jail for the stuff he did in the first one. So you get that. But like at the end, at the end of the day, it's like what is gonna be the tick? The thing that they like the connection there, right? Like what is gonna be that? Because in that first one, the connection was like, oh, it's his personal life, what sadness, depression does to you, or it can do to a person. Like life beats you down. It was that. So that was like the whole like background, like the setup for it. This one though, what is it going to be? Will it be like, oh, he's now the Joker and he's just doing things? Right? So where will be the in that interesting hook? What is going to be that thing that's gonna hook you? Like that is like the depression, or like what is it going to be? So that's what I'm worried about. It's like where can they go with that kind of a realistic story? Because if you really look at it, that first movie honestly could be its own movie and that's it. Like where it ended, like how it ended, it was like, okay, that's it. If like they could really end that and it could have been a one-off movie and then that's that. The thing was that this movie, if you go back and read the interviews and all, they wanted to only do one movie. Joaquin Phoenix didn't want to do a second one. Even the director was like, no, this is it. We want it to be its own story. So WB really forced them to do, because it was like $1 billion movie. It made so much money. So it's like, okay, no, do it. And then my take is like, when something like that happens, it's like, I'm worried that the story will take a hit. Like they're not going to be able to match it just because they're doing it for the sake of we have to do it because it's a moneymaker. I don't know if it's going to be able to touch the quality of the first one. Because in my opinion, the quality of the first one was really good. It was a masterpiece. So I don't know if they're going to be able to touch that. Let's see. That I am a bit worried there. I'm a bit worried there on that. Oh boy. It's like all these movies coming out and you're like, will they be good? Will they be not? Like, what's going on here? Like you're always like worried and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my take on that. I don't know if anybody want to put like more like 2 cents of theirs or more thoughts on this, but that's, I think, all I can say so far on this based on the trailer. Basically, the riots, like the whole, city getting behind him, and he's like he's acting like the Messiah to all of them, with all the crazy and everything. So maybe they'll introduce a new Batman. You never know. Because of all of that. Maybe a Batman comes in because this is just so much crazy. So maybe Batman comes in to like stop all of this. Maybe they go into that, or maybe they just keep it into like its own thing and not bring Batman or any of that. But then that's why I'm like, where can they take this story? Is there a good story there that they can take it to, right? Who knows? All right, next one. A couple of movies that I am not excited about at all, but here we go. Let's check out the Transformers 1 trailer 2, which like the first trailer was like goof, man. that was not a good trailer. Well, let's check this one out. Anyone that came out. There it goes.
For thousands of years, we have been at war. But before, we were enemies. We were like brothers.
You ready?
Always ready. Let's punch in. Hey, watch where you're going!
What did you say?
It's not like he can transform. Hey, Darkwing!
Don't.
My finger can transform. Guess which one?
Allow me.
I appreciate you having my back.
No matter what.
This is Transformers? What the hell is this?
Is that?
Sending location coordinates.
What the hell is this?
It's an SOS message from the surface.
Fantastic!
It's time to show them we are more than meets the eye.
A cave with teeth. Nothing scary about that. Holy Primus.
I see strength in you. Take these and access your full potential.
We can transform now!
How do we use these things?
Come on!
My hands!
How you choose to use this power is up to you. We roll out.
What?
Louder.
Transform and roll out!
I want to help
Oh
build
my
a better
God.
world.
What is
Like you
this?
said, we can be so much more.
Maybe it's just me, but he's different.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that.
I picked up on that too.
What happened to my best friend?
Burn it down! All of it!
We have to stop him.
We could have built the future together.
I don't think so.
Just
talking about?
Now is the time for us to stand up. Together. As one.
Look, that's Starscream, and you're Shockwave and Soundwave.
Enough.
Gosh, raise your hand if Wave is in your name. There's a lot of waves.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What in the world was that? Oh god. Oh god. Bro. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I'm still here, man. I survived that. I survived that. Oh God. I have no words. I have no words. Oh God. Oh God. I have no words. I really don't. Whatever that was, I guess. I need to take a walk from that. Bro, that ain't no Transformers, man. Okay, like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Seriously, who thought that was a good idea? Like, I mean it all. I mean it. I mean it. Like the character designs themselves. I know that was Fortnite Battle Pass DLC. You damn right. Definitely looked like it. Oh God. Like the character designs just does not do it for me. Look, if they do it for you, that's how entertainment and video games are. Completely fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't like it. For me, like, I don't know, man. It does not work. It does not work for me. I'm sorry. It just does not work for me. Oh, God. I get the story, like, you know, Megatron, like, they get their powers. Megatron goes on his separate path. He goes evil. All that, you know, they were brothers once. They were friends. And now he's going the separate path. Like, I get that. Like, I don't mind a story like that. I have no problem with a story like that. It's just, like, the animation, like, yeah, but it's not a correct comedy for Transformers, not for the machines. Like, oh, like, my middle finger, like, bro, they're Transformers. Like, what in the world? Like, that does not look like a good movie. In terms of, like, its content and the way it's presented with all this slapstick jokes and, like, oh, my, you know, like, you see, like, on my finger, like, I can transform my finger. Like, man, come on, man. Like, it's not Transformers comedy, dude. Again, like, for you, it might work, and that's great. But, like, for me, something like that, yeah, it does not work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just for me, it does not work, you know? Something like that. Like, again, it might be a good movie. Who knows? Like, the trailers don't, at least for me, trailers don't look good at all. Like, action looks cool. Like, the action is well, like, oh, big action. But it's just their character design and the jokes just is not letting me appreciate the action and like that. Like, it just feels off. It feels very off. Especially for a Transformers film. It feels so off, you know? So it's like, really, like, what is the what is the point of this? Why even do this story? It's like, okay, Megatron has went bad, right? Like, we already know the man went bad. Like, unless you have a great story to tell, like an emotional story, like he went bad and all that, I understand. But they're doing a jokey story. Exactly. It does feel like that, but it also feels like a jokey story. I don't mind them doing a backstory. Again, there's no point to it. We know what happens with Megatron. Like, he goes bad and all that. Maybe they're rebooting it. But still, it's like, if you're doing that kind of a story, have more like grounded kind of a dialogue or something more that was like, oh, he went bad. That's sad. It's like they showed in the trailer most of it. And it's like, it feels like, or whatever, he went bad with all the stupid jokes and everything. You're like, you don't really care. That's, at least to me, that's how I feel like it. I feel like you just don't care. It's like, even if the story has some good potential, it's just the jokes and like the way the characters look, the designs on them, I don't think that was a good idea. I mean, I would have been fine with that kind of an animation, but like the designs themselves are like it's much to be desired there. Like they could have definitely done better. Those designs will look good. Come on. I get the blockiness, which is like the original Transformer toys and all, and the original cartoons, but the original cartoons they were taller, broader. Yeah, Optimus Prime, like that Optimus Prime. This, man, like just feels like some like minuscule kid toys or something. Like, for the love of God, man, that does not, like, at least to me, it does not look good. I'm gonna say, it just feels okay, whatever kind of thing. Whatever. All right, there's another like animated Transformers movie. Okay, that's it. That part though, this thumbnail looks a lot better than the movie though. The way he's standing there, right there, I don't know if you can see, he looks a lot better there than actually in the like in the movie itself, in the trailer. Like the thumbnail makes him look like this bigger, cool Optimus Prime. But yeah, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I don't know anything. Who knows? Who knows? Anywho, let's move. Oh my God. The first comment, man. The first comment, and I already can tell. They are destroying Borderlands with this movie. Oh God. It's amazing. I haven't checked the new trailer out, but it's amazing how they took a game with so much heart, love, humor, and personality, which is true. Which is true for the games. It's true for the games. I played the first two. I haven't played the third one yet, but it is very, very true what this person is saying. That person, Jennifer Rose, you are right. You are absolutely right. They stripped out that. Okay, well, let's see. I haven't checked the trailer out yet. Generally, the F, is this a Borderland movie? Congratulations, the first movie in 20 years to go straight to VHS. People are already burning this like so hard. Please tell me the scene with Tim being the only one who can open the wall to stupid editing and not actually true. Whoever chose Kevin to be Roland, send them to be Slaughter Shaft, Mayhem level 10 with no weapons and shields. Oh God, they destroyed the characters. When you order Borderlands from AliExpress. When you board, oh my God. All right. Let's check the trailer out, people. Let's check the trailer out. Here we go.
Brave Vault Hunters! You've come in search of the secret lost vault of Pandora.
Not tiny. Like, I have, look, some ass? A good question. I have no problem with Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett is a wonderful actress, man. What an actress, okay? She is legendary. Period. Okay? I'm not saying that. Kevin Hart has good comedic timing, comedy good. But dude, these do not look like the characters. It feels like these actors are cosplaying the characters. There's a difference between cosplaying and actually be the character. This feels like cosplaying. It does not feel like they're the characters. I said that in the first trailer. Okay? Let's just go back a bit. We'll start the trailer over again, but let's check the trailer out.
Brave Vault Hunters! You've come in search of the secret lost vault of Pandora!
You ready to kick some ass?
Okay, let's go.
Hey, hey, hey. Catch!
If the legends were true,
I'm the only one who can open the vault.
Really? That definitely did not happen. She's not the only one who can open the vault, man. That's all like woke stuff going on. Seriously, man.
Feel free to applaud.
I don't remember much, but I remember that much.
Follow me this way. I have a tremendous sense of
Nobody kills me but me!
Here they come!
Oh my god, this is so bad looking.
Put the window up.
I don't want to!
It's pink.
It's in my mouth!
You get a bullet. You get a bullet.
big bullet coming.
how are we gonna get through this?
Everybody run!
AEMH? What is that? Season 3. AEMH? American Horror Story? No, that's not that. Season 3? For what? What is that abbreviation for? But that aside, man. What is this trailer? Bro, there was some really bad CGI in there. I swear. I was like, oh god. Like, it literally looks like a green screen mess. The game looked more dystopian than this. Like, the game had more darkness and, like, as I said, this is true. This is true. Like, the dialogue, the witty dialogue between the character, all of that. This person is right. They stripped out the heart, the love, the humor, and personality. They stripped it. Like, I believe that person. I really do. Because I played the first 2 games, right? I know I don't know how the story ends in the game, in the third part. But I know, like, I played it, man. Like, the humor, I remember playing with my friends. We played it as co-op. We finished both the games. It was so good. Those games were so good. The story, like the ending of the second, like how it opened up, and like there was like a cliffhanger I remember, and I don't remember like what's the third game is, because I haven't played it yet. Maybe I'll play it on stream. We'll do that. But man, like there was so much to it, so much to those games, and it's like none of it feels like it's there. It just feels like, oh, they wanted to make a movie of it and they just made it without keeping anything special from that. You know? It really does feel like that. It feels like they literally did not keep anything. They're the characters that feel like cosplayers, and that's about it. That's it. That's what it feels like. Oh, man. It started so positive with that Rebel Moon and the Joker and, the Wolverine like the review. And then we ended it on a sour note with like Transformers and Borderlands. Like, come on. Maybe you should have watched like the nasty stuff first and the good stuff for later. Man, but wow. It's coming out in a few weeks, like a couple of weeks, man. And I don't feel any positive vibes coming from the Borderland movie. And I have no positive vibes coming from the Transformers movie. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that much right now. Like whatever. It's whatever. But anywho, guys, that's kind of like all I have to talk about, to be very honest, today. I think that's all there is to it. I don't think there's anything more, to be very, very honest. Unless there is. And let's not go to the main screen, because when you start watching trailers, it can easily ruin something. So let's not watch. I'm gonna go from that page because like those cutscenes, scenes, people like record them on cam or phone and they put them on YouTube. You can easily spoil it for everyone who probably has not, was there for the spoiler part of the review. But that's about it. That's about it for today. That's all I have to say. First of all, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining in. To all the folks who did come by, appreciate it. Thank you. We're starting to get views here and there. Maybe I'll change the look a bit more to make it look better. Maybe just a bit better than what it is. And I can always take ideas. So maybe the screen can be bigger, stuff like that. Maybe a full screen and then have the chat there and the camera at the bottom. Maybe something like that. We'll see. But yeah, man, thank you. Thank you all for joining in. Appreciate all the support. Anything that deserves money instead of being canned. So yeah, I will see you all now in the next one, on the next stream. Until then, take it easy, guys. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of the night, morning, afternoon, evening, whichever time zone you're in. Yeah, stay chill, stay safe, and see you all soon. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Cappy, for joining in. Thank you, Enrique. All the folks who did come by and stop by. I do appreciate it. Stay safe, stay chill. See you all in the next one. Until then, ta-da! A cat. Bye-bye.